Hello there. I am a Urantia and a long-time Urantia reader, and I have wanted to do something to share my particular unique, according to my personality, my beliefs and my interpretations about this book. I am not with the foundation. I'm not with any group. This is just my own personal little effort to serve God and serve my fellow man in some little way. So this is the platform I chose to convey my beliefs, my interpretations, my understanding, which will not be the same as everybody else's because we are all unique personalities. So, the Urantia book, to me, is relative truth according to the particular time it was written and the epoch we're in, and the evolutionary epoch we're in. Now, God's plan for any evolutionary planet is slow growth, slow evolutionary growth, interjected now and then by um, revel- pure revelation from Him to help us to grow, to keep us on track, so we will know the truths, and so we will gradually grow and expand and work towards the times of life, which is relative perfection on a planet or a system or a universe, or even a super universe. So we've been on this planet, first man and woman and an infanta, about a million years, just under a million years. And so at about 500,000 years, we were developed along evolutionary paths enough to deserve a planetary prince. So our planetary prince was assigned to our planet of Urantia. His name was Caligostia, and he was not visible to the inhabitants of the planet. But he brought along with him 100 volunteers of material sons, and they incarnated as liaison between the planetary prince and the inhabitants. So we would have something visible, so something would be between them and our planetary prince. And so he came down for the first revelation and to reveal truth and to teach the citizens, to bring them along God's path according to God's will. And things were going not too bad till um, about 200,000 years ago, when Lucifer decided, from the system sovereign, decided to rebel against the Father. And 37 planets went with him, sided with him. Ours was one of them. Caligasios went right along with Lucifer, which really kind of put chaos on our planet and turned things around for a while. So he was basically shredded of his power. So we no longer had his help. And the various peoples, angels, denizens of this planet, they all chose one way or the other, either to side with Lucifer or to side with God. Okay. So after that, um, though our civilization didn't do so good, biologically, we still evolved. And when we evolved to the furthest point that we can evolve biologically, down came the second revelation, Adam and Eve. So, and their mission, besides also uh, becoming planetary rulers, along with the planetary prince under normal circumstances, and teach the civilization and bring them into the mechanized age. And their job also is to upstep us biologically. So they are a higher biological race than us. and they were to blend in with us. The thing was, is Adam and Eve were not supposed to personally mate with any human. First, they were supposed to build up a large progeny of sons and daughters. And these sons and daughters, after a period of when they were in large numbers, would slowly spread out over the world and begin to intermate and mix and blend with the inhabitants of the planet. And all this would be according to God's plan and would upstep us biologically. It would make us more enhanced, more spiritually. And so, because between the material and the spiritual, it's such a big gap, especially evolutionary imperfect beings. So they would have upstepped so where it wouldn't be such a fight for us to try and become spiritual like we do these days. But unfortunately, they defaulted. They ended up mating with human beings, and they were downgraded to human beings themselves. They lasted about another 500 years before they died, and they gave us as many progeny as they could in that time. But naturally, instead of being this overpowering amount of upstepped blood, it became like a small dropper in a bucket of water. So we didn't get a whole lot of it. So it has made our life a little difficult on the end, but that's okay. Okay, God's plan can be delayed, but it can't be stopped. His plan is still intact. We're still on our way to the times of light and life. We're still going through the epics and the ages. Um, we're just taking a little longer right now. But there are compensations to all this. There's always compensations. Um, all things, good, evil, and sin, work towards the good of the true Son of God and believer and God's seeker. So after that, um, and that was also the second dispensation. The planetary prince was one dispensation, and the time from him to Adam and Eve was one dispensation. Okay, then after that, and Adam and Eve were about 37,000 years ago. So it came all the way up to somewhere around 4 or 5. All these years numbers are in round numbers. So about 4,000 years ago, they saw on the planet that the light was fading. It was almost gone. So Makiventa Melchizedek came down on an emergency mission to keep the light alive. He incarnated in a material form so that we might see him. And he lived in the times of Abraham. And he taught. He opened up a big center and he taught and he taught the light of life. He passed it on to Abraham, and all the teachers he recruited and sent out, his teachings went all throughout the world. Now he was a revelation. He was a revelation, but he was not a dispensation. He stayed on here about 92 years, and then they figured that was about enough. And then he went back to on high, back to the constellation, and and so then comes the fourth revelation, which this one is also a dispensation. That was when Michael of Nebadon came down and did his seventh bestowal mission on the planet of Urantia. This mission was for him also, but also for us. It was his chance to live a human life from birth till death and live a perfect life. In that life, going from infant and all the making all the evolutionary process one can make as if we when we're able to stand at the right hand of the Father. Well, it's going to take us eons of time. Well, he did it in one life of 36 years. It was a perfect life. It was a gift unto his Father. And he lived that life according to the will of his Father. So after his purely human experience, which ended at his baptism, um, then he stayed on another 6 years to teach and reveal truth. Now, the fifth revolution is the book we have now, the Urantia book. So we had Makiventa Melchizedek about 4,000 years ago, about 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ, and now we have the Urantia papers, which are the fifth revelation. Now, every revelation revisits all the information and teachings that have gone before, and also enlarges them and expands them and takes the planet to a more expanded, larger phase, epic. We become closer to the years of light and life. We are taught, we are given revealed religion to upstep our own evolutionary ideas and our evolutionary growth. One of the problems with revelation is we like our own traditions. We're comfortable with them. So usually we kind of fight it when we're taught something that's correcting the ideas where we've gotten off track. As you see in the times of Jesus, when he gave them these new ideas, the religious leaders were so offended. They not only thought they had to discredit him, they actually murdered him. So that's how strong human feelings can be when it comes to receiving revolution straight from God. So now we have the Urantia book, and that's the fifth revelation. And hopefully we'll pay a little more attention to this. Hopefully we'll use it wisely. Hopefully we'll move in the direction we're supposed to move. Hopefully we can do it right this time. Now the next revelation coming, we don't know when it will be. We don't know which it will be. It could be one of two things. It could be a judiciary visit by an Avenal son to judge the realms and close another dispensation. Or it might be Makiventa Melchizedek coming back as a vice-parent to Michael of Nebadon. He will be assuming the position of planetary prince. Will he incarnate? We do not know. Will he be invisible? We do not know. Will he have liaison helpers with us? We do not know. And we do not know whether it will be him first or even all judiciary member with the judgment. But it will be one of the two. And we don't know when, and we don't know the timing of this. I know nothing's going to happen too much until the Lucifer Rebellion has been completely adjudicated and closed. Um, until then, nothing can happen. Caligasta is still here. Monteventa hasn't made a move, though he's been appointed, hasn't made a move to come down or nothing. So for right now, we've got the fifth revolution, and hopefully we can take ourselves in a right direction. We do have a spiritual government working for us. We do have spiritual entities working for us. We just don't have the liaison of someone personal between us and them yet. We'll get back to that when we have either a planetary prince or a Avenel judiciary dispensation, one or the other. Well, I thank all of you for watching, any that did. I hope you found my video interesting. I might have to cut it off now. I love you all, and I hope God blesses you all.